And that's how I ended up naked in a beanbag chair eating Cheetos.
We were overdue. I always forgot you did that.
Welcome, everybody, to the Macabre Academy podcast, your home for all of the silliness that you're going to need in your life to get you through the remainder of 2020.
Yes. So we have a potential here, believe it or not, for a unicorn episode. Do you know what a unicorn episode is?
No.
One where we don't swear.
Oh, I can guarantee you that won't fucking happen.
You already ruined it. Damn it. All right, kitties, I'm dying. I don't know if you can hear my cold, but here we are.
This week, you're blessed with just Steph and I. Steph is sick. Brandy is dealing with some personal issues. And I am way too sober to be handling this shit by myself. So we will see how this goes.
Yeah,
But
it might be a short ride on this carousel today.
Train's currently being derailed. We may or may not get it back on track. This might not even come out. Who the hell knows?
No, we gotta post it because we can't miss a week. So I want to give everybody a heads up. Like last 2 weeks of December, not gonna happen. First week of January, not gonna happen. So there's gonna be like a 3-week break right there.
We can try to pre-record some stuff.
I know, but just no guarantees.
We'll work through it as we go.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. But you are gonna get an episode on Krampus. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. All right. This week, though, we're talking about the devil's fairy tales.
Aliens.
That too. Aliens. So many aliens. Guys, I'm preparing the most epic alien episode ever.
It's out of this world.
I'm debating 3-parter. I don't know.
3-parter?
Yeah, I'm debating.
Wow.
I watched a 2-hour documentary and it sent me down a rabbit hole. So we'll see what happens. But today we're talking about the devil. All right. So I got to clarify some things. So we're going to read stories at the end of this episode. But if you want information on the devil, you got to hang in there with me because that's right now. So the definition of devil, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, okay, there's like literally,
huh? Love them.
Yeah, great people. They've been around since like 1832 or something crazy. I literally,
they're aliens if they've been around that long.
We're now an alien podcast, just so you know.
We are an alien review podcast.
All right. Well, there is 6 definitions of the devil. You ready? Number 1, often capitalized. The personal supreme spirit of evil, often represented in Christian belief as the tempter of humankind, the leader of all the apostate angels, and the ruler of hell. Used often with or as an interjection as intrusive or a generalized term of abuse.
Also, the temperer of chocolate.
I'm sick. Give me a break. Okay, so when you use the devil in this term, it's what the devil is this? The devil, you say. It's like that. That was sexy, wasn't it? Just
very
dry snort. Okay. Definition number 2, an evil spirit, aka a demon.
Ooh. I have a demon Lisa Pop over here too, from Treehouse of Horrors.
What?
Just chilling, watching me.
Who?
Demon Lisa from The Simpsons. From the Treehouse of Horror episodes.
Yeah, it's been
He's
a hot
just here
minute.
chilling, just judging me silently.
Well, one day I'm going to have to do an episode on demons versus daemons because there is a thing. I've said this before. Today is not that day. Okay, definition number 3. An extremely wicked person. Also a fiend. You got nothing?
Next.
Okay. Number 4, a person of notable energy, recklessness, and a dashing spirit. Also one who is mischievous. Those kids are little devils today.
Also, little devil, little candy thing. Very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was actually in my research somewhere. I didn't make it the notes, but
Yeah, it's actually the red hot, not the devil. Now that I think about it, but they have the little demon. They have the little devil.
I lost you. He's gone. It froze. Just got a little inch thing on the screen. I feel like this is a moment of elevator music while I wait for him to come back. Kevin.
There you are.
Kevin. Yeah, I asked if
I've been
sound.
here.
I was also here, but my Zoom was not.
You froze. You were like,
You were like this with your little fingers up, like this. It was cute.
one of us needs to get better internet.
Dude, this is what I can afford, and I might not be able to afford it in 6 months, so we'll see.
Patreons, hit us up.
Yeah, really. There's new tiers, actually. Let's put shameless self-promotion. I want to watch History of the World Part 1. That's part of the $10 tier now. So, fun times.
Yes. Give us money so we can make this better.
Really. Okay. So definition number 5 means fellow. Usually used in a phrase of poor devil or lucky devil.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that one escaped my memory until I found it thanks to Merriam-Webster dictionary. Not sponsored, but vital.
Shameless plug for them, even though they don't need it enough with us.
They
12
really
listeners.
don't. Okay, definition number 6 has 3 sub definitions. Okay, so 6A, something very trying or provoking, like having a devil of a time trying to solve this problem.
Yes.
Okay, number B,
Number B.
I'm sick. Shut up. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. There are now letters that are the same as the alphabet. Okay, just accept it.
Hey, it's your reality. I'm just living in it.
Okay, B. Severe criticism or rebuke.
Okay, what's letter 3?
I'll probably catch the devil for this, is severe criticism. And the very last definition of the devil.
Which is letter 3.
Letter 3, yes. The difficult, deceptive, or problematic part of something. The devil is in the details.
Yes, it is.
We should name our episode that, The Devil's in the Details.
There you go. Write that one down. We're going to forget.
That's what we have Sound Maiden for.
Oh, sound made. Put it in.
Thank you. All right. So this is going to take me a minute to unpack. So see if you can follow my train of thought, because I need to be questioned actively to make sure it makes sense. Because I can't.
I have to pay attention?
Yes, because I can't tell the difference between my numbers and my letters.
Now we're in trouble if I got to pay attention.
We're so fucked.
We are really in trouble.
Okay. So
the whole episode is try again next week.
No, we have to do it. Like, deadline's up. We got to do it. I promised 100 episodes. This is fucking happening, okay? Okay. So the devil is a social construct, which means it's not something that exists in object reality, but as a result of human interaction. It exists because humans agree it exists.
Interesting.
Okay. Hang in there with me. So the devil is often used as the personification of evil, and you see that in a myriad of cultures and religious traditions. So we have to look at them through the lens of these religions and cultures that have the devil as part of their mythos.
Question.
Yes.
Does the devil only wear Prada or other designer brands okay?
Other designer brands are okay,
All
depending on which mythos you're in.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So etymology. The modern English's devil comes from Middle English's devil, and Old English deofol, Deofol, and it's got a little umlaut thing in there somewhere.
Get your house points in now.
Yeah, come at me, please. Also, Germanic languages borrow diabolus. Fuck it, it's from Latin. And when you translate all these things, it translates to slanderer, across through, to hurl, he lifts up, or a subordinate evil spirit afflicting humans.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like pick a lane and stay in it already.
Right. So I don't know that people realize that the devil may refer to Satan, but it also can refer to one of his minions or malignant entities in pagan traditions, wicked peaceful people, rascals, or used in empathy. But when you're using the word devil and Satan, they're not always mutually exclusive. Like, they don't always fit together. When you're talking about the devil, you may not be talking about Satan, but when you're talking about the Satan, you are talking about the devil. It's one of those. You with me?
I am.
Okay, good. Okay. So, since the devil is distinctive, I want to explain how Satan's different than the devil. So this is going to take me a second.
Get in there.
Okay, so Satan has been called the devil, but traditionally that's not accurate. Satan's aliases include Lucifer, Beelzebub, Metaphilit. Metaphilos. Steffi. I wanted to say Mephistopheles, but that is from Cats. It's, yeah, Mephistopheles, whatever. Lord of the Flies, the Antichrist, Father of Lies, and Moloch.
Seriously, pick a lane, pick a name, stay there.
So most people resign Satan to a figure in Aramaic religions. Okay? Because Satan is actually referred to as the dragon and the old serpent seen in the book of Revelation. So you're looking at 12:9 and 22. Well, 20, chapter 20, verse 2, whatever. And has been also called the prince of this world in the Gospel of John, chapter 12, verse 31, and in chapter 14, verse 30. Then you see the spirit has now woketh in the children of disobedience, and that's in the epistle of the Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 2. Then you got the God of this world in Corinthians. Okay.
Good old Corinthians. They're always good for a laugh.
Yeah. I actually quoted Corinthians in Sound Maiden's wedding. Threw that in there since I officiated. Also, he's identified as the dragon in the book of Revelations and the tempter of the Gospels. That's yeah. So Satan is more called Lucifer when they're describing him as the angel before his fall. And that's through reference in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 to Lucifer. The Latin Luciferus is the bringer of light and the son of dawn, which also might be a reference to a Babylonian king. Okay. Then you have Beelzebub. Okay. And this originally was the name of a Philistine god, but also used in the New Testament as a synonym for Satan. So they're getting creative there. They must have not really liked that Philistine god or something.
Seems not.
Yeah. There's also a corrupt version of Beelzebub that appears in the Divine Comedy. But that's neither here nor there.
That's way over there.
Yeah, it's so far over there. In other non-mainstream Christian belief, the word Satan in the Bible is not regarded as referring to a supernatural personal being, but to any adversary, and figuratively refers to human sin and temptation. So that's not even a person. That's just anything that challenges them, anything that's considered sin, anything is temptation, Satan. In the Book of Wisdom, Satan is represented as one of those who brought death into the world. The second book of Enoch contains references to a watcher called Satan, describing him as the prince of Gregory, who was cast out of heaven, and an evil spirit who knew the difference between what was righteous and what was sinful. Then you got the book of Jubilees, and Satan is ruling over a host of angels. Mastema, who introduced God to test Abraham through the sacrifice of Isaac, is identical with Satan in both name and nature. So, same thing. I'm getting there. I'm sorry.
Pick a lane.
This isn't me.
Not you, him.
Yeah, really.
Or her. Whatever.
Okay.
Pick a lane.
So in the Book of Enoch, it refers to Sathriel, thought to be Santanel or Satanel or whatever. The similar...
Is that like a citronelle on a candle? Does it keep the bugs away?
No, I wish it did.
I'm a big, big fan.
He's a Lord of the Flies. I think he would attract the bugs, not repel. Oh, dude, do you remember in Constantine, that bug thing that gets hit by a car? No?
No.
Why am I the only one that watches movies?
I watch movies. I just watch old movies.
That is an old movie now. We're old farts.
That's true.
Constantine came out when I was still in high school. So it's an old-ass movie.
Attacked.
You should. We're old.
We are old.
Okay. So similar spellings mirror that of his angelic brethren of Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Gabriel. Previous to his...
Ninja Turtles?
Pretty much. I mean, you're just missing...
all of them. I'm being
No, Leonardo's not on there, and... Fuck.
I don't think that's one of the turtles.
Leonardo?
No, fuck. Fuck is not one of the turtles.
Oh, no. I think that'd be me if I was a Ninja Turtle. Just fuck. What color are you? Fuck. Okay. So all of these references that talk about Satan, they're kind of missing some important word here. Ready? The devil. Okay? Not mentioned anywhere. The word devil does not exist in any of these references when they're talking about Satan. That came into popularized like when some monk was translating the Bible and was like, "Ooh, Latin. Let's bust this out into devil." And then it just kind of caught on there from there. And what's weird is saying the devil, and it's weird to me because there's like devils across the board. And there's physical characteristics that change between having horns or not. Color of the flesh could be blue, black, red. Also, there's a lot of other things that are absent of the devil. Like in Hinduism, we see early texts that don't offer further explanations of evil. And they kind of regard those dark forces as something natural. Now, they offer explanations of various texts later for evil. And this was given by the Brahmins. Both demons and gods spoke truth and untruth, but the demons relinquished the truth and the gods relinquished the untruth. Both spirits are regarded as different aspects of one supreme God. And even fierce deities like Kali, right, are not thought of as devils, but darker aspects of a god. And they can manifest benevolence. They're not strictly evil. So, no devil or Satan there. Same thing with Judaism. Yahweh, the God in, proto-Judaism, created both good and evil, as instated in I cannot talk. Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 7. I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all things. So the devil does not exist in Jewish scriptures. Later, however, there's an influence of Zoroastrianism during the, I'm not even going to say it, there was a period in time where devil was introduced as a separate principle to the Jewish belief systems, which gradually externalized the opposition until Hebrew term for Satan developed into a specific type of supernatural entity. So it's changing that monistic view of Judaism into a dualistic one, but it wasn't designed to be. So no devil there. Islam's probably one of the hardest ones to unpack because there are two terms that refer to the same entity. There is shaitan, which means astray or distant. And then there's ilbis, the name of an entity representing the characteristics of evil, right? Ilbis is more of a word for Lucifer in the creation story. He proclaimed he was superior to Adam out of pride. And in Islam, both good and evil are ultimately created by God. Since God's will is good, the evil in the world must be part of God's plan. So God is actually allowing Iblis to seduce humanity, knowing the righteous will resist his attempts to misguide them. So really not the devil here either. All right.
What's going on here?
I know. We're almost there.
Take your time. I got plenty of it.
Yeah, really. So Muslims held that pre-Islamic jinns, tutelary deities, became subject under Islam to the judgment of God. And that those who did not submit to the will of God are devils, plural. So that's the only reference you start to see to devils, devil, okay? So there are several religions in the world who exist without devils or Satans, and that's Proto-European traditions. You're looking at the Druids and the Vikings and shit. You got Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Shintoism, ancient Greek and Hellenistic religions, Native American lifeways, and neo-paganisms. Cats do all. They are sent by the devil to be mischievous, especially all the fluffy ones.
He's so fluffy.
The devil, though, in my opinion, is not Satan. So
hey, little fluffs.
Okay. And then to my knowledge, the concept of Satan does not exist in voodoo. Satan is a foreign concept imported into African societies through colonialism.
I love some good colonialism, he said sarcastically.
Right. They deliberately sought to stigmatize African spirituality into satanic or devil worship, which...
Of course they did.
Yeah, that doesn't belong there. So I don't want to get into like what Satanism is or the satanic panic in this episode. I just wanted to explain that the devil and Satan are like two separate constructs that have merged over time, but they're not the same fucking thing. Just bothers me. So to contextualize the stories we're about to tell, we're going to look at a modern translation where the devil is a direct personification of undesirable traits of the people who pass down these stories, right? It's a window to show how to function properly within that society according to their norms. And I think that's why I love children's fairy tales about the devil so much, because he's just a scapegoat for all the bad things happen in the world and just what you shouldn't be.
I see what you did there with scapegoat. Very droll.
All right. Why don't you read me your devil's tale first for all the kitties out there?
Because I have a cat in my lap.
Kitties, not kitties. That too. All the kitties and the kitties. And the titties.
All the kitties in the house getting tipsy. Where do you think you're going? Sir, this is a Wendy's? Sir, this is a Wendy's. I don't know what you're doing.
What's that floofy cat's name again?
That's Wilfred.
Wilfred.
Okay, this story
There's fur on your camera. I just see the fur.
That fur's attached to the cat.
It's just on top there. Cat attack.
Yes. Do you do this with mommies on work calls, or do you just reserve this for me?
I think this is daddy treatment.
When I pick the clump out of your armpit and suddenly you're just all over me? Anyway, I digress in pets. So this story can be found on ye old Wikipedia. This story is named The Lost Children, and it is a French fairy tale, so get your house points in early, because I'm going to fuck up all kind of shit.
Oh, I think Tara and Sophia will be all over that shit.
Gotta get your house points. I'm helping the wrong house. I should be helping my house.
Yeah, really.
Hey, buddy. All right.
Well, you got your new friend in there, so maybe he'll come in for a save.
All right. That's some bullshit we don't care about. So this is basically another version of Jack and Jill, but without the shoving the witch into the oven and eating her. So
I thought they just cooked her alive. I didn't think Jack and Jill were cannibals.
Hey, when you're hungry, you got to do what you got to do.
Do you think that witch would have tasted sweet eating all that candy herself, or was it purely there to plump the children?
I don't think she would have eaten her own house, though.
I would have.
You know the best way to get rid of that is just to bite the candy cane, because there's a load-bearing candy cane. The whole thing will just collapse. Okay. So there was a couple, and they had children, as you do. The children are Jean, who is 12, and his sister Jeanette, who was 8. The parents were very stingy, and of course the children suffered because of this. And the parents finally decided to lose them in the forest.
They decided to lose them, not abandon them. Just, we're going to lose them in the woods.
Just going to lose them.
Yeah.
They decided one day. So, one of the parents took the children there and left them in the forest, as you do. This is also terribly written, so I'm having to change it on the fly. So if I'm a little all over the place, deal with it.
I know a couple kids I would leave in the woods.
What if they find the teddy bears?
There's no teddy bears in the woods.
Well, that's where the teddy bears have their picnic.
Proceed.
So the children then tried to find the mother who abandoned them. And when they were unable to do that, they tried to find their way out. Jean climbed a tree and saw a white house with a red roof. They saw a white house and a red house. They went to the red house. There was a woman there who let them in and told them to be quiet or her husband would eat them, because her husband was the devil.
The devil eats children?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what the Catholic Church does to them.
Fair. Fair.
So, the wife in the red house hid them, but because they were Christians, her husband could smell them. And then he goes on to beat his wife and put Jean in the barn to fatten him up before eating him, making Jeanette bring him food. The devil, of course, was too fat to get into the barn, so he ordered Jeanette to bring him the tip of Jean's finger to test how fat he was. Jeanette brought him a rat's tail.
Wait. That doesn't even look remotely similar.
It gets there.
Okay.
No, I'm completely wrong. You track everything in private. There's some kids in the woods with a house that's close enough. For this podcast, it's close enough.
Fair enough. We're not professionals. I'm okay with it.
Not even slightly. This apparently happened twice, and on the third time, The devil noticed the trick and pulled Jean out of the barn. He then made a sawhorse for Jean to bleed on and went for a walk. This doesn't make any sense.
You picked it.
It's the first one that came up. I didn't have a lot of time this week. Okay, I had all the time but no motivation. We really need to work on our communication skills.
Well, kind of had to pull an episode out of our ass. It's okay.
So, Jeanette and Jean pretended not to understand how he was to be put on the sawhorse. The devil's wife showed them, and Jean tied her and cut her throat.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. They took the devil's gold and silver and fled in his carriage, but the devil chased them.
If the devil's fat, how fast can he really run?
That's what I'm saying. This makes no sense.
Fair. Go ahead. Proceed. Well, if he's...
I don't know if it's a shitty story or a shitty retelling of it, but either way, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the moral of the story, because so far, people dump their kids off in the woods. Then the kids run to this... there's 2 houses. They pick the shit house with the devil in it, and now they're trying to, run for their lives. And
after they murdered a woman. And there's not even any teddy bears having a picnic.
You're bad at picking stories. Where's the moral? Where is it?
I don't know. I got a paragraph left. Maybe it's in here.
Okay, I'm hoping.
The devil, as I said, the devil chased them. On the way, the devil met various people: a laborer, a shepherd, a beadle, some laundresses, and he asked whether they had seen the children. The first time he asked, they each misheard him, but then told him they hadn't seen them, except for the laundresses, who told them they had crossed a river. The devil, for some reason, could not cross it. So one of the laundresses offered to cut her hair to let him cross on it, but when he was in the middle, the laundresses dropped her hair, so the devil drowned.
Okay.
The children got home and took care of their parents, despite the fact that their parents had dropped them in the woods to die.
Is that seriously the last line?
Yes.
So all we learned is that the devil can't cross water.
Apparently.
And if you're shitty to their kids, they'll come back.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have several stories. I will give you some titles and you tell me what you want to hear. Mine's from an actual book. This is
the shortest synopsis of anything I've ever read in my life.
Okay, so
this is the tailor who sold his soul to the devil. It's a Mexican fairy tale. The synopsis is, I just wait for this one, right?
Okay.
The devil offers a tailor a bargain. The tailor says he can save his soul if he beats him in a sewing contest. The devil uses a long thread which tangles. The tailor uses a short one and wins. The end.
All right. Well, the devil tried to rush it, and slow and steady wins the race. Is what that sounds like.
I don't know. We got to work on our communication for next episode. This is embarrassing.
I know it's embarrassing, but we thought we were getting a true crime case. Okay, it's not what happened. All right. So I have The Very Pretty Lady. I have The Imp in the Basket. I have there's a story about nuts, but it's not as good as it sounds. Ashes, which was pretty cute, and Perfection. Let's start with that one. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. There once was a little girl called Angela who always did everything right. In fact, she was perfect. She had better manners than anyone, and not only that, but she hung up her clothes and never forgot to feed the chickens. You can't forget that, Kev. Super
Can't
important.
forget to feed the chickens. You gotta feed the cock.
Yes. Can't neglect your cock, okay?
You
It's not
definitely
good.
can't.
Not only that, but her hair was always combed and she never bit her fingernails. A lot of people, all of them fair to middling, disliked her very much because of this. But Angela didn't care. She went right on being perfect and let things go as they would. Now, when the devil heard about Angela, he was revolted. Not, he explained to himself, that I give a hang about a children as a rule, but this one, imagine what she'll be like when she grows up. A woman whose only fault is that she has no faults. And the very thought of this made him cross as crabs. Crabs are very cross.
Very cross.
So he wrote up.
Salty.
Actually, crab meat's pretty sweet.
Well, I mean, crabs in the water because they're in the salt water.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Anyway.
So he wrote up a list of things to do that he'd hoped would make Angela edgy, and if all went well, even make her lose her temper. Once she loses her temper a few times, said the devil, she'll never be perfect again. However, this proved harder to do than the devil had expected. He had sent her chicken pox, then poison ivy, and then a lot of mosquito bites, but she never scratched and didn't seem to itch. He arranged for a cow to step on her favorite doll, but she never shed a tear. Instead, she forgave the cow at once, in public, and said it didn't matter. Next, the devil fixed it so that for weeks on end, her cocoa was always too hot and her oatmeal was too cold. But for this too failed to make her angry. In fact, it seemed that the worse things were, the better Angela liked it. It gave her a chance to show off how perfect she was. Years went by. The devil used up every idea on his list but one. Angela still had her temper and her manners, and they were still better than anyone else's. Well, anyway, said the devil to himself, my last idea can't miss. This much is certain. And he waited patiently for the proper moment. When the moment came, the devil's last idea worked like anything. In fact, it was perfect. As soon as he made it happen, Angela lost her temper once a day at least, sometimes oftener. There. Often, and then an
I don't even think that's a word.
It's in the book.
I guess it's a word then.
It's a word. Check it for Scrabble points. Oftener.
There you go.
You're not checking it for Scrabble points. Check it.
I'm reading about Trump not wanting to send the coronavirus vaccine that he had nothing to do with to New York.
Oh, wonderful. All right, well, I'm going to look it up then. Oftener in Scrabble. It's a valid Scrabble word, but how many points? Points. It won't tell me. I'll have to look it up. Whatever. So you can use oftener in Scrabble.
There you go.
Yeah.
We are now a Scrabble review podcast also.
We should play Words with Friends. I'll kick your ass.
Hey, well, because I suck.
After a while, she had lost it so often that she was never quite so perfect again. How did he do it? Simple. He merely saw that she got a perfect husband and a perfect house, and then he sent for a fair to middling child. He drove her nuts by giving her a baby. That's great.
All these stories are terrible.
They're devil stories.
I expect better.
Well, do you want to hear about the power of speech?
I do. Just keep going. They're all going to be terrible, but I'm in for it.
Okay, it's my last one because I literally have 8. Okay. So, well, wait. Let's analyze the last story since there's clearly a moral. Because this girl was so perfect, and she got a perfect house, she got a perfect husband, and then she got a terror of a child. mediocre. And it drove her nuts because it wasn't perfect. So the moral of the story is...
Don't have kids.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. All right, so the power of speech. This is the last tale this week, kiddies. All right. A lot of people believe that once a day, every goat in the world has gone down to hell to have his beard combed by the devil. But this is obviously nonsense. The devil doesn't have time to comb the beards of all the goats in the world, even if he wanted to. Which, of course, he doesn't. Who would? There are far too many goats in the first place. In the second place, their beards are nearly all in terrible condition, full of snarls, burrs, and dandelion juice.
Dandelion juice, yes, yes.
I actually make dandelion syrup.
A problem I have myself.
You don't like dandelion juice, or you have too much in your beard?
I have too much in my beard. Also, we're going to be a beard review podcast here soon.
Oh, yeah. This is a good place to plug Mystical Existence, who is no longer... Well, she's a sponsor, but she's turning into a friend. So, yeah, I'm pushing
for... friend gives us money, so, there's that.
That too. But Mystical Existence is sending us some... I bought a perfume tester, and we have some other products to test, but I'm like really excited because I legit buy her products. So I have Medusa limited edition Halloween soap in my fridge, in my shower, and it smells amazing.
Why is my right AirPod crackling? I'm gonna have to work on this before next show. I might have to get new AirPods. If so, I'm gonna be very annoyed.
Okay. Well, hopefully we have a next show. This one was spotty at best.
Don't judge us on this show. Please come back next week.
Okay. Nevertheless, whether he wants to comb their beards or not, the devil is fond of goats as he is of anything, and always has one or another somewhere about. Sort of a pet. He treats them pretty well, too, considering that goats give back as good or as bad as they get. This is what... What about the people who fuck goats? Do the goat fuck them back? Ew. I went too far.
We are now a bestiality podcast.
There are people that legit fuck goats, and this says goats give back as good or as bad as they get.
We need to move on.
Okay. This is why the devil likes them so much, for goats are 100% unsentimental. Now, there was a goat in the world that the devil had his eye on for some time. A great big goat with curvy horns and a prize from every fair for miles around. I want that goat, said the devil to himself, and I mean to have him even if it has to be dragged down by his beard. But there was a needless thing to say, and the devil knew it, for animals, especially goats, are not at all like people when it comes to right and wrong. Animals don't see much to choose between the two, so heaven or hell, it's all one to them, especially goats. All the devil had to do was go up there to the cottage that goat called home and lead him away. The only trouble was that the old woman who owned the goat was no dummy. She knew how much the devil liked goats, but she also knew how much he hated bells.
Oh, plot twist.
Yeah, especially it's funny because you love bells so much.
I do?
Yeah, bells.
Oh, yes, I have a lot of bells.
I actually made an Animal Crossing reference, Kev.
You know how many bells I have in my pockets right now?
I don't want... You were at 700,000 earlier today.
Yeah, it's like 716,000.
Shut up. Okay. So the devil hates bells. Actually, I have a tarot shirt of the raccoon holding 2 bags, and it says the devil on it, and it's got them 2 goats on it.
I still think what we should do is take Tom Nook
Mm-hmm.
cut his fucking head off, and put it on a pike because fuck that raccoon.
I mean, he's a shady motherfucker. He's like really price gouging.
He really is, and he's into like human trafficking. Well, not humans, animal trafficking, and like why am I paying to improve your fucking island?
True. Yeah.
Like, you want a fucking waterfall? Put a fucking waterfall in. I don't want to do it.
I'm just mad I can't properly place a bridge where I want to place a bridge, and I have to learn how to terraform, and I'm not excited. That's stupid.
I just got my 3-star island rating, so I have the concerts. Now I can do all the things.
Oh, I don't have that yet. Shut up.
Although
I haven't had
my
time.
villagers are too mad that I have too many trees on my island. You know what? Fuck you.
I thought they'd be complaining about the weeds. There's so many. You weeded it?
Leaf was there buying weeds for twice the price. Weeded the whole fucking island.
You serious? What? I thought you were a naturalist. You liked your
I
island.
was until I could get money for it. I just weeded the whole island and sold it to him and made double.
You're such a sellout. Giving me shit about picking your weeds, and now you're like, I'm gonna pick them all.
Not all of them. I have specific like areas that are just like decorative weeds. They're a nice little accent. They're beautiful.
It's your fault. Okay. Anyway, this lady knew the devil liked goats, and he knew how much he hated bells. So she kept the goat, whose name was Walpurgis. That's the goat's name.
Of course it is.
Tied up to a tree in her yard, so she fashioned a little bell around his neck with a length of ribbon. Walpurgis hated bells as much as the devil did, but there's no way he could say so, and nothing he could do about his own bell except stand very still in order to keep it from jangling. This led to some passerbys to conclude that he was only a stuffed goat put there for show and not a real goat at all. So many people came up to the old woman's door asking about it, and the last she put up a sign that said, "This is a real goat." After she got a little peace and quiet, not that any of it mattered to Walpurgis, who didn't give a hoot for anybody one way or another. The devil didn't care what anybody thought either, and he still wanted that fucking goat. So he turned the whole problem of the bell over in his mind, considering the solution, and at last, hoping that something would occur to him, he ended up out of hell to the old woman's door to have a little talk with her. "See here," he said, as soon as she answered his knock, "I mean to have your goat." The woman looked up at him and wasn't in the least dismayed. "Go ahead and take him," she said. "If you can do it, he's yours." The devil glanced across the yard to where Walpurgis stood tied to the tree. "If I try to untie him, the bell will ring, and I can't stand bells," he said with a shudder. "I know," said the old woman, looking satisfied. The devil swallowed his annoyance and tried a familiar tact. "I'll give you anything you want," he said. If you'll go over there and take away that wretched bell, I will make you queen of the world." The woman cackled. "I've got my cottage, my goat, and everything I need," she said. "Why should I want to buy trouble? There's nothing you can do for me." The devil ground his teeth. "It takes a mean mind to put a bell on a goat," he snapped. "If he were my goat, I'd never do that. I'd bet a bucket of brimstone that he hates that bell." "Save your brimstone," said the old woman. "He's only a goat. It doesn't matter to him." "He'd tell you, though, if he could talk," said the devil. "Maybe," said the old woman, "and I've often wished he could talk. But if it comes to that. But until he can, I will keep him anyway, so goodbye." And she slammed the door between them. This gave the devil the very idea that he was looking for. He hurried down to hell and was back in a minute with a little cake. Into it he tossed a mix of powder of speech, and then he tossed it to Walpurgis. The goat chewed it up at once, swallowed it, and then the devil changed himself into a field mouse and hid in the grass to see what happened.
Okay, sounds legit.
Right? After a while, Walpurgis shook himself, which made the bell jangle. And at that, he opened his mouth, and out said a very bad word.
Uh-oh.
I mean, in my mind, it's fuck. An expression of great surprise came over his face when he heard himself speak, and his eyes opened wide. Then they narrowed again, and he tried a few more bad words, all of which came out clear and unmistakable. So what? What's that song where they say all the bad words? There's like a chunk of them.
I don't remember.
It's like dick, fuck, shit, turds, and twat or something. Do you know what I'm thinking of?
And this was supposed to be a no swearing podcast.
No, we already fucked that up.
Yeah, we did.
I'm just adding the bad words because it said bad words to the story.
As well as it should be.
As he swore, the goat, as much as a goat can ever smile, Walpurgis smiled. He moved as far from the tree as the rope would allow, and he called out in a rude voice, "Hey there, you in the cottage!" The old woman came to the door and put her head out. "Who's there?" she asked suspiciously, peering about. "It's me, Walpurgis," said the goat. "Come out here and take away this bell." "You can talk then," observed the old woman. "I can," said Walpurgis. "I want this bell off, now, and be quick about it." The old woman stared at the goat, and then she folded her arms. "I had no idea you'd be this kind of goat," she said. This kind of... Yeah, it's just weird, this kind of goat. Like, how many talking goats have you ever encountered? Like, how is that even in the... Huh?
Apparently a lot.
It just doesn't seem like it'd be in the realm of possibility. Anyway, to the devil with that, Walpurgis said carelessly. "What's the difference? It's this bell I'm talking about. Come over here and take it off." "I can't," said the old woman. "If I do, the devil will steal you away for sure." "If you don't," said the goat, "I'll yell and raise a ruckus." Yell away. A ruckus.
Oh.
That's in the Wild Things, where they have a royal ruckus in the woods. Yes.
And the Wu-Tang Clan wants you to bring the motherfucking ruckus.
Oh, I don't Wu-Tang. I don't know. All right. "Yell away," said the old woman. "I got no choice in the matter that I can see." And she went back inside of the cottage and shut the door. So Walpurgis began to yell. And he yelled all the bad words he knew, and he yelled them loud and clear, and he yelled them over and over till the countryside rang out with them. How many bad words do you know? I don't even know if they're bad words anymore. I say them so much. Before long, the woman came out of her cottage with fingers in her ears. "Stop that," she shouted at the goat. Walpurgis stopped yelling. "Do something then," he said. "All right, I will," said the old woman. "I'll serve you both right. If I'd known what kind of goat you were, I would have done this in the first place. The devil deserves a goat like you." So she took away the bell and set Walpurgis free, and right away the devil leaped up from the grass and took the goat straight back to hell. Now, the funny thing about the power of speech is that the devil could give it, but he couldn't take it back. For a while, it was amusing having a talking goat in hell, but not for long, because Walpurgis complained a lot. He had always been dissatisfied, and being able to say so made all the difference. The air was too hot, he said, the food was too dry, and there was just plain nothing to do but stand around. "I might as well be wearing a bell again for all this moving around and wearing a bell again for all the moving about I do in this place," said Walpurgis. "Don't mention bells," said the devil. This gave Walpurgis the very idea he was looking for. He began to yell all the ringing words that he knew. He yelled them loud and clear. Clang, ding, jingle, bong, and he yelled them over and over till hell rang with them. At last the devil rose up with fingers in his ears. "Stop that," he shouted at the goat. Walpurgis stopped yelling. "Do something then." "All right, I will," said the devil. And with that, he changed Walpurgis into a stuffed goat and took him
Ooh.
back to the old woman's cottage and left him there in the yard tied to the tree.
Of course he did.
When the woman saw that the goat was back, she hurried out to see how he was. And when she saw how he was, she said to herself, well, that comes from talking too much. And she put the bell around his neck and kept him standing there Anyway, since the sign was still there too, it said, this is a real goat. Nobody ever knew the difference. And everyone except Walpurgis was satisfied. The end.
Wow, that story sucked. I mean, these have all been fairly terrible, but that one was long. That one was long for no reason.
Well, it's an annoying goat. I mean, goats are inherently annoying.
All goats are annoying.
I know, but it seems like the devil and the goat got what they deserved, and that poor woman was like, fine.
She should have just eaten the goat and been done with it.
Have you had goat meat? I've never had goat meat.
I've had goat. It's not bad.
All right, well, let's end this disaster of an episode. Disaster. Okay. What do you have for me? Word but true.
I'm getting there.
Don't sing anymore. That might be a license right. Alex is gone. True. It's too soon. What are you doing?
Bye. Okay, weird but true.
Okay.
A man once received a heart transplant from a suicide victim, married the donor's widow, and then killed himself 4 years later as the same manner as the donor.
Wait, what?
You heard me.
How? Is the heart cursed to break and commit suicide? Like, that's crazy.
Apparently.
I mean, that sounds nuts.
So,
all right.
There you go. Weird but true. Also, my AirPods are acting up, so hopefully Apple will give me new ones.
All right. So, last but least, we have a non-offensive dare.
Non-offensive dare.
Yeah.
Hey, I actually need to pick the number this time because Brandy's not here.
Yeah, but I left my notebook in the other room.
Ah.
So I gotta go get it because I'm super prepared. Hold on. More elevator music, if you may.
Yes.
And I dropped my shit. All right. I was using the good notebook with the dares for the alien notes because there were so many. So many. All right, Kev, pick a number 1 to 100.
Can you narrow it down?
Nope. I'm going to let you just fly by the seat of your pants.
Nope. I don't know. 39.
Oh, okay. This week's non-offensive dare is to go donate blood. If you can. Yeah, if you can, go donate blood.
All right. So that was an episode.
I know, and it was so bad. So bad.
Might be our worst one ever.
There's no time to re-record it. I'm sorry, guys. You're stuck with it. Next week, you're either getting true crime or you're going to get one hell of an alien episode.
Win-win either way.
Yeah, either way. We're working on it right now, I promise. All right, we're just going to go. Have a great week, guys. Make good decisions.
Bye.
We'll make better ones than us.
Yeah, so that's not hard.